my god, he cornered himself against Brian.
Oh, the jump in!
He went the down and dropped it! He
Goes for 4-3!
Oh my god, what are you doing?
This is gonna be big damage. This is gonna be big damage. It's gonna be okay.
I'm getting a heart attack. He's got full meter. Knee's gonna touch. Oh! Let's go! Let's go! Let's fucking go!
Winston is playing like a genius!
Are you kidding me?
Oh my god!
So, you want to get into Tekken, and it may seem like a tough task at first, but trust me when I say it is a lot easier than what you imagine it'd be. Hi, I'm Patriarch Panda, and today I'm going to teach you some tips to get into Tekken, a very complex game from the surface, but again, can be a very fun and easy game to get into once you find the right balance of things that you need to look into. Now, I will start, before we get into these tips, talk about things that are available for you to practice right now before even looking at these tips that are useful. First one is that the demo is currently available for free, so you can try it out to see if you like the base gameplay mechanics, just messing around with the characters that are there. There are 4 characters, they all play very differently. Kazuya being a punishment heavy defense Mishima mixed with some really good offensive vortex options, Jin being a very nice all-rounder with some difficulty attached to him, Paul being an easy character with some good all-round pressure and high damage, and Nina being a rush down, in your face, pressure heavy character. So yeah, that's something to keep in mind if you want to try these different archetypes, even though yours might not be there, like grappler or kind of like a poker like Jack. But at the end of the day, you can definitely try these things out, see if you like the base gameplay mechanics. The other thing that I will say before you go into it, which is when the game releases, pick up literally every character. If you're not sure who to play, hop in training or hop in a versus setting, a very casual setting, and just do versus rematches over and over and over and over again until you find the character's style and animations that you absolutely love. Something to note is that one key tip that people always give out, pick the character that's easier to play. I do not agree with this, because 9 times out of 10, either they don't vibe with the game doing so, aka picking up Sol or Kai and Strive. In this case, it would be picking up Paul or Law, because you're not necessarily getting into what could be you. And to do that, I recommend just hopping in the game, messing around with moves, and see what really screams to you as an individual. What animations and moves do you like? Honestly, ignore that tip of play the easy character, and if you don't like that character, move on and try someone else until you eventually get that feeling and that connection. And if it's tough, you gotta push it or not. Up to you, honestly. But I do not believe in that tip. Let's get into today's tips that will help you get into Tekken. Again, a complex game, but let's make it easier step by step. The first tip that you can do is go into training and get used to the movement. The key thing about Tekken is definitely the movement. Being able to whiff an attack and being able to attack like all these different options, moving in and out of hitboxes and hurt boxes, is kind of the key thing that defines Tekken. Sidestepping an attack, crouching an attack, backdashing an attack, and then counter-attacking with your own stuff. It's definitely one of the funner things about Tekken, is kind of playing like this Neo Matrix style. And I recommend just having fun with the movement and training. Legit, just practice backdashing, practice forward dashing, sidestep around. Hell, even set the bot to do a simple jab so you can practice avoiding it in all these different scenarios, because it's fun when you get used to avoiding and playing an evasive playstyle. And another thing that you could do with this is kind of go into a casual setting with a friend who's also picking up the game or is better than you. Tell them to play a character they've never played in their life, so you're essentially on the same level of understanding. And what to do is, don't use launchers and just sort of like move around, throwing pokes in and out, moving in and out of spaces, and get used to that feeling of constantly being on the move. That's what I recommend in a nice casual environment. That way there's no competitivity and it's just you and your friend getting stronger and better for the road ahead. So something to note back when I was talking about poking is that you can use these simple controls. If you don't know how to do an input or find it difficult, use the simple controls that are available to you to see if it's a part of the move list, because a lot of the key moves are definitely there. Tip number 2, I recommend just learning a combo. Now this sounds very simple, and a lot of people often tell you to stray away from this path because you're not practicing what matters, and at the end of the day, combos do matter. Gaining damage from a tense situation is important. And at the end of the day, combos are some of the funnest aspects of games. You look at Dragon Ball FighterZ with its fun creativity, with its combos and high damage, it's fun to execute. And then you look at Guilty Gear Strive with Potemkin counter backloops, again, fun to execute. When it comes to Tekken, it's no exception, especially if you play characters like Mishima, Paul, or King. Doing combos are so incredibly fun with any character, so I recommend learning a combo off of a simple launcher like a hop kick or a down forward 2 if your character has it, and just kind of having a fun time with that, because honestly, getting creative is the way to go. If you don't feel like being creative, the game has combo guides in the game that you can use to kind of like understand what your routes can be to be creative. When it comes to learning a combo, they have the key list in the main menu when you go to your command list, so that'll be very useful for you when understanding what can things do in a combo, or even what it can do by itself. So keep that in mind when you're doing the learn a combo tip. This isn't a tip, but one thing that will make the community a lot more easier for you is understanding the terminologies that will be used. I recommend looking at the FGC glossary. It'll have all the information you need into understanding Tekken notations and talking among each other. Tip number 3 isn't too much of a wild tip. This is actually the first time I can recommend this, because this is the first time a Tekken is giving you some kind of real tutorial mode, and that is through the arcade quest. Tekken 8 is introducing Tekken Quest as a kind of a way to kind of like learn the game through your character, what they can do, their combos, their routings and stuff like that, in a very fun, neat manner. If you're into casual content and you're into learning, this would definitely be the way to go. And you guys see funny interactions like Harada telling you to not ask me for shit. So at the end of the day, fun content ahead, and I recommend doing it. Take full advantage of what the game wants to teach you as you learn to adapt it yourself. This tip is a little bit harder to adapt, but it's completely worth it in the end. If you want to go that next step beyond, aka get references, it is definitely one of the better ways to go. And I recommend watching character guides. Yes, character guides will be created from all sorts of high levels. I don't recommend watching the best of the best guides, because most of it will kind of fly over your head if you don't have a basic understanding of Tekken. But I recommend watching videos talking about how characters work, not how they perform in high level, but how they work. That way you have a general understanding of how the character is played. Blasted Salami has plenty of these types of tips for Tekken 7, and they'll surely be coming in Tekken 8. A neat thing about these character guides is that they're an amazing way to gauge if you like the character visually and in general, right? It'll kind of tell you what type of player you are, and it will be very helpful in that sense. Tip number 5. This one is important because it won't help your growth if you do this. It will kind of cause you to go into this weird mentality of not understanding where you really are and if you're really getting better, and that is avoiding ranked when the game launches. Yes, ranked is not the way to go when the game launches, because you'll be finding people of all types of play style and all types of level style. If you hop in there, you might get killed by Knee. There is a possibility if you live within that region, when the game launches, Knee is waiting for you. That's just something to keep in mind. So it's probably best for a good while, I'm saying give it about the first month or the first 2 weeks to avoid ranked. That way you can actually give yourself a proper way of going into ranked without getting stunned by all sorts of crazy levels, and it kind of lets you adapt and understand where you are. That way you're not thrown off completely as soon as you hop in there into such a hard environment to understand. I recommend mostly hopping into the story content during the first 2 weeks, hopping into training and playing casual sets with friends. That is the best way to improve when you start your fighting game journey, not ranked. That is not the way to go. Being said, ranked will be a way to go after a set period of time. I just don't think hopping right into it right away is the play. Some people like to head first, and I respect that, but if that doesn't work for you, don't do it. I hope these tips were very useful. They aren't crazy or insane tips. They're mostly made for people that know absolutely nothing about Tekken. So if you're sitting there thinking, oh, I know these are obvious, they're obvious to you because you have a basic understanding of Tekken. So it doesn't help you with this, but it'll help the people that are looking at it from an outside FGC perspective, example playing Street Fighter, and not having a single idea how this game is played. And these are ways that you can improve and kind of help yourself enjoy the game instead of hopping right in there head first trying to learn things that you don't fully have grasp upon. But yeah, at the end of the day, I am going to be streaming my full Tekken experience day one, going over absolutely everything, and I will be learning as much as I can. If you want, you can hop in, ask me dumb questions, go insane, I will take them all patiently, do not worry. Because I understand picking up a new game when it comes to a fighting game series is very difficult, it's not easy. But there's ways that you can go about it. Anyway, I'm Patriarch Panda, and I hope that would help you get into Tekken, because again, it's not an easy game. I'm not going to refer to it as an easy game, but hopefully it'll make it easier. And Tekken 8 having tutorials will definitely help make it easier. And of course, if you're from other perspectives, like other 2D fighters, you have to be ready for a lot of foreign concepts. For example, when I tell you a move is -9, that is fine. That is safe, right? If you're at that level where you understand frame data, you have to be ready for frame data to be completely different. That much I will say. It will throw you off. That, again, there's a bunch of friends that I tell, it's like, oh, it's a mid that's -14 with pushback, so it's very good. In a game like Grand Blue, you're getting heavy slashed every time. So it's important to keep that in mind. Open perspective. Don't think on what you see and from your perspective of other fighting games. Remember, it's a fresh new game, and if you want a perspective of it from someone who plays the game, you can ask me, or you can ask some of your other friends that are into Tekken, because again, friends will help you get better. Patriarch Panda, I hope these tips have been helpful, and again, I beg that everyone is able to get to Tekken as much as I can. But yeah, thank you for watching, and again, any questions, go crazy in the comments. I want to read all of them. Peace.